Hey everybody, welcome to 547 week number 5. This week we are looking at memory and learning. This is just such a great week. So many critically useful lessons and readings and dare I say nuggets of wisdom for you to learn. So should we jump in? All right, let's do it. That was me waiting for you. That was funny in my head. So you're continuing the reading in the Sousa book, finishing chapter 3, all of chapter 4. You have an article around digital dependency with the idea of how we kind of offload critical learnings and like facts to the internets, as my mom calls them, because we don't have to keep it in our memory. Like as a kid, I remember my phone number, all my friends' phone numbers. I still know some of my friends' phone numbers from elementary school, and could not tell you one phone number of a colleague, right? Like I know my wife's, mine, know my dad's, not my mom's or sister's even. It's crazy, right? So that's interesting. Also, kind of on the other hand, um, remember we read a bit about how there are some facts that you just need to know so that you don't have to get bogged down into the search. So this kind of balances that out. So it's um, pretty cool. You have 3 discussion board posts. Remember that you have 3 initial posts, and each one of those has 2 replies. So you're going to do your initial 3 posts and then 6 replies, total of 9 posts, since you have 3 items. So please don't forget about that. The first one looks at learning and retention, looking at how that compares to sense and memory. Your second one looks at the primacy recency. A fact is that the first thing you learn and the last thing you learn tend to be retained the best, and whatever's in the middle, not as much. So hopefully we'll have some good discussions about how we structure lessons and how the first few minutes are some of the most critical. And so having that be kind of a warm up, before you actually get to the learning, um, is a big waste, right? And the third part is looking at the rates of learning and retrieval, how our brain needs retrieval methods. Kind of reminds me of Inside Out. Remember that Pixar movie? If you've not seen it, this would be a great time to watch it, although it might get ruined because you're like, oh, 547 won't get out of my head. But it's where feelings have feelings in our head, and we see what the whole universe is inside our brain. So interesting. I want to go back and rewatch that at some point during this course. That'd be fun to see how it relates to that. Um, and there's not an assignment due this week, right? You have 3 discussion board posts, some readings. Um, Last thing that I am thinking about is the Spring Q conference is coming up. It is all virtual, March 18th through the 27th. Um, it's a long one. It's like, what is that, 9 days? Normally it's 3.5 days in person. All virtual is going to be fantastic. I was just on a call planning out Q Live. So we're going to have interviews with presenters kind of throughout. So it's going to be really, really cool. So even if you're not attending the conference, and I would encourage you to check it out. It's going to be great. Some great learning, some great presenters. Keynotes are fantastic. Featured speakers are awesome. Um, at the very least, make sure you're following Q on whatever social media you prefer, Twitter, Facebook, even YouTube, because we're going to be doing some really cool interviews. I'm going to give you all a heads up on that, so you don't miss out. And that all of that is free. All of those are great conversations. So perhaps I will see you in a Zoom session at one of the, well, it's not Zoom, but the interface. And then it'll be fun to hang out, like in a session, I guess. So feel free to share if you're going to that. I'll be going there. I'm presenting twice and then running Q Live. It's going to be a good time. So as we go through week 5, make sure that you're looking ahead to week 6, 7, and 8. Week 8, you have a big, big, big assignment coming up. So don't be afraid of that, but also, don't worry about, or don't leave that to the last week. That brain compatible unit is big. It is 60 points altogether. And then also coming up in week 6, we have the Arts and Movement Project. That's another big one worth 50 points. So this is a good week to plan ahead. I would encourage you to do that. And that is all. So happy week 5, everybody.